Okay, so being the good girl, always being told as a little girl how good you were and how responsible you were, and always saying, the right things as a little girl is actually showing up in your business today, and it's causing you to sabotage the very business that you're praying for. And you're not even aware that you're doing it, right? So you've been holding this image as this good girl, always being polite, always being perfect, always have saying the right things and never like ruffling feathers. And so because of it, you have been so afraid to really show up authentically and really voice your opinion, voice your true beliefs, voice your like have a strong stance because you're so afraid of offending anyone. And it is truly causing you to not really authentically connect and repel the people you're called to work with and the people that you do not want to work with, because you're not standing firm on your core beliefs and you are really being submerged into this good girl image. And as a result, it's costing you sales in your business. And so in this live, I'm going to be breaking down how the good girl is costing you sales and how to fix it. All right. And so you've always been the one to like follow the rules and like, be the people pleaser. And so now it's like you're constantly you're in a state of approval and really looking for social approval, as opposed to really just being obedient to what God has called you to say and being that polarizing person that you want to be. And so I'm going to break it all down for you inside of this episode of the Daily Dose. So for those of you who are not familiar with me, my name is Janel Ranée, and I help you to transition into coaching full time without chasing clients, without fighting the algorithm, without self-sabotage, or without sacrificing time with your family, with your loved ones as you build your business. And the Daily Dose is divine overflow of spirit-led empowerment. So whatever the Lord puts on my heart to share, this is what we share. All right. And so we're going to jump right into it. So for you, you have to understand that every time you like silence the truth and what you really want to say, it's because you're trying to stay safe, right? So your nervous system is designed to protect you. So every time you stay quiet and stay mute, it's survival mode, right? It's survival mode so that you don't offend anyone, so that you don't get mislabeled or judged, or like just you're so afraid of really you're afraid of other people's opinions, and it's really causing a deficit in your business. And so I really want you to take some time and reflect and really think about how is like being seen as a good girl costing you sales in your business. I want you to really do some deep inner work here and think of that. Take out your journal and your pen and really start writing out. It's probably not so obvious at first, but once I go through this live, you're going to see like how certain things that you're doing is coming up as that good girl, right? It's really a matter. What you're doing is you're operating in a fawn response. So your nervous system, like I said, is designed to keep you safe. And so you can either have a flight response, a fight response, a freeze response, or a fawn response. And you operating as this good girl is really the fawn response, being that people pleaser. So I want you to take some time and really think about this, okay? Do the work to really think about this and jot it all down, all right? So you have to understand that business sales require you to be bold. So for you to finally overcome this good girl image that's really causing you sales in your coaching business, you have to be bold. BOLD is an acronym, and I'm super excited to jump into it. Okay. So the first letter in the BOLD acronym is brave. You got to be brave enough to be seen. Okay. Brave enough to be seen. So what it is right now is you're showing up, but you're not truly visible. You're visible, but you're not, you're showing up. You're visible, but you're not fully seen. That's what I meant to say. So you're visible, but you're still not seen. And it's not the same thing, because you can be very visible, but invisible at the same time, right? You can be visible, you can be showing up, but no one really hears authentically like your core beliefs, your values, the thing that you like, your mission, your vision, like they don't hear your story. And so you're showing up, but you're still very invisible, right? And so so you probably you have the message, you have the expertise, and you have the anointing, but you stay stuck tweaking your bio or re-recording reels because you fear so much judgment. But when you reprogram visibility belief blocks and the visibility belief blocks, tongue twister, that are actually deeply rooted in fear, and I kind of touched on a few of them earlier. It's a fear of like fear of rejection, or a fear of judgment, or a fear of failure, a fear of success, a fear of not being able to handle what you're praying for, the business success that you're asking for, clients that you're asking for. So that fear of success, right? The fear of there's so many of them, but it's really like deep rooted fears that are costing you these visibility blocks. You're afraid to be canceled or exposed or whatever, like, you know, cancel culture. So you're literally walking around on eggshells within your own business because you want to please everyone and you don't want to ruffle feathers. And so as a result of that, this is what's causing you to, even though you're visible, you're still very invisible. And in order for you to really be comfortable in your authentic voice and to show up unapologetically, being truly connected to your mission and the vision that God has given to you and your business, and to have that soul to soul connection with your dream clients, it really requires you doing the deep inner work to be able to reprogram these visibility belief blocks rooted in fear. You're going to regulate your body to feel safe being seen. So as a nurse turned business coach, this is the work that really lights me up. Yes, I give my clients the blueprint, the strategies. Oh my gosh, it's so funny because I'll probably do another video about this, I'm sure. But I just got some news that my client, who has been working with me for just 2 weeks, it's only been 2 weeks, and she's already signed her first client. And this is someone who's had her coaching license, her coaching certificate, I should say, for over 2 years, and has just now signed her first client. And only because she started working with me, doing this work. That's it. That's why this work that I do is so imperative, because not only do I give you the blueprint, but I also help you to break any type of belief blocks that are hindering you from showing up and really being able to guide your clients into the transformation that you as a coach are being hired to do, right? And so this is why you're building your business, to really be able to transform lives. And if you in yourself are just too afraid to show up, too afraid to get visible, too afraid to say the things that might ruffle a little bit of feathers, right? Until you feel comfortable doing that, until you feel safe being fully seen authentically for who you are, you're going to continue to go year after year after year and not making those connections and not connecting and converting your audience. Okay. And so, so once you do this work inside of the Business by Belief Accelerator, you no longer hide, right? Just like my client, no longer hiding, but you fully embody your God-given assignment. All right. You fully embody who God has called you to be. You show up as her, you make decisions from her. And this is what's going to allow you to get the results. All right. Your belief system, I often say this, but your business will only grow to the extent of your belief system and your body's safety. Your subconscious mind is responsible for 95% of your actions. So if you find that, oh yeah, if you say I'm going to go live or I'm going to create content, but then you find yourself shrinking back or doing all the things, running the errands, folding laundry, deep cleaning the kitchen, working on the back end of your business, but not being fully visible, not really showing up and being seen and connecting with your audience. If you're finding that this is what's happening to you, it is deeply rooted belief systems. There's an underlying fear of rejection. There's an underlying fear of getting it wrong, failure, right? And so there's a underlying fear of judgment, right? And the shame that comes from that, or the embarrassment that comes from that. And so oftentimes you don't even realize that a lot of the experiences that you've experienced as a child are still showing up. And this is why I titled this live that way, because as a child, you were told that you were a good girl. And so you want to keep that good girl image, but it's really affecting your business. You have to get bold. All right. You got to get bold. So that is the B, brave enough to be seen, right? Not visible, not just visible, but actually seen. And so the O is obedience to the call, not the crowd. So obedience will offend the wrong people, but attract the right ones. So as I stated earlier, you are so afraid to say the wrong thing because you've been labeled the good girl for all your life. And so you want to keep this perfect image. You want to please everyone. But when you're pleasing everyone, it's like you're not really attracting the right people, right? Because in business, you want to attract the right people and repel the ones you're not supposed to work with, that you're not called to work with, right? So you got to be obedient to the call and not the crowd. All right, you're not called to everyone. And what you're doing right now is you're stuck in comparison. You're watching other coaches grow faster while your content still feels flat. And that's because you're diluting your voice, you're diluting your message, you're diluting your opinions, you're not taking a stand on things that you stand for. Like, just speak up and like have an opinion, have a backbone, like, and stop people pleasing. Okay, stop it. You don't have to do that. And so inside of the Business by Belief Accelerator, this in the second phase, right? In the second phase is where we work on mastering your story selling messaging, rooted in your conviction, not conformity, right? The Bible tells us, do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12:2. And so you're not going to be conforming, right? Your words begin moving hearts, not just filling feeds. And so one of the things that I help my clients to do is really just pull from everyday life scenarios and speak from your heart. Speak from what you feel your client needs to hear right now. I often share this. One of the biggest strategies that I do is just literally stop focusing so much on the strategy, because the strategy is only 5%. Yes, it does require strategy in business, but ultimately the majority of it is it's like a soul connection, right? And it's safety, it's body safety, and it's your core beliefs. That's really what it is. It's your belief system is responsible for 95% of your actions. And so you want to get out of your head and just really speak from your heart. This is how you are able to really connect authentically with your clients, okay? And so that's the O in the BOLD acronym, obedient to the call, not the crowd. Stop focusing on the crowd and focus in on who God has called you to serve. Focus in on who you've been called to serve and to lead and to guide as a coach, all right? Okay, that's the O. We're going to jump into the L, which is liberated from people pleasing. All right. Approval is a prison. Liberation births leadership. So as a business owner, you have to showcase that you can lead. Leadership is key. You got to have strong confidence, clarity, conviction to be able to lead your clients from point A to point B, right? For you to actually be able to sign clients need to know that you are a great leader and you can lead them where they want to go. You can lead them along the transformation, right? And so right now, what you're doing is you're writing captions and you're deleting it because you're wondering like, okay, what are people going to think about me? Or there's just no clarity when it comes to you creating content. And so you're constantly dimming your light and you're avoiding being misunderstood. And the reason for that is because you don't have like a clear system or a clear step-by-step process that you can take your clients through. And so you're doubting yourself. And that self-doubt speaks louder than anything you could ever show up on social media to say, because people, they can't always put their finger on it, but there's an energy exchange, right? So people they can always feel, they know something is off based on the way you show up. Are confident? Are you convicted in what you're saying? Are you clear in what you're saying? And so inside of the Business by Belief Accelerator, when I help my clients, one of the first things we do is we work. That's the first step, is literally crafting your signature framework and putting it inside of a premium offer that reflects your full authority. Your confidence comes from clarity, not consensus. All right. And so when you have clarity, this is when you can show up confident. When you're creating an offer from your own lived experience, this is what brings conviction. Okay, excuse my alarm. That's what brings you the conviction to show up. And it's from your conviction. So sales is really a belief exchange, right? It's a value exchange, but it's really you showcasing the belief that you have in your offer. And that is what's going to allow others to believe as well. Like when you fully believe in what you have to offer, it's going to show. It's going to show in your conviction, in your voice, the way you show up confidently, the clarity that you have, the certainty that you have. This is going to happen once you have your signature framework. So this is why this is like the foundation. This is the first step that we do. We build your signature framework, put it in a premium offer. We work on your marketing messaging, and then we set up a simplified sales funnel for you. Okay. And so that is all done inside of the Business by Belief Accelerator. And while you're building, and I'm giving you the blueprint on how to structure each phase of your business, because every single offer, every single business, no matter what it is, you need a compelling offer that people want to buy, right? You need converting marketing message. You need a converting marketing message. Yeah, you want connection, but you want to make sure that your messaging is actually converting, and you need consistent sales in any type of business. And so this is why I've structured the Business by Belief with my CPR framework to guide you in creating all three of those things. First, you start with your compelling offer. We work on the converting messaging so that it aligns and connects with your clients on a soul-to-soul level. And then we also map out your simplified sales funnel, right? For consistent sales, because those are the three things. You need a solid offer, you need marketing, and you need sales. Any business that you're doing, right? So that is the L. Okay, the L, liberated from people pleasing. All right, no more people pleasing. And so the D, the final letter, is disciplined in your delivery. And so consistency is not perfection, it's conviction in motion. So remember what I said before, when you know what it is that you're offering and you believe in what you're offering, you show up with such a level of conviction, right? So right now you're showing up, you're visible, but you're still not really seen, because you show up, you post for a week, and then you disappear for 3, right? And then you beat yourself up because you're not being consistent. And so the shame comes in, and then there's this whole cycle, repeated cycle. You're losing self-trust because now you're like, oh, you can't rely on yourself to show up consistently. And so this all feeds into one another. And this is why it's so important to do the inner work as you're building your business. But when you create and develop a simplified sales funnel and a content rhythm that sustains momentum without pressure, you show up as a woman led by peace, not perfectionism. All right. So this is, like I said, the third component of my CPR framework is where you build out your simplified sales funnel. And this at the top of the funnel is your content strategy. Like, what are you going to be showing up? Where are you going to be showing up? How often are you going to be showing up? Something that you can actually sustain. All right. A momentum that you're able to sustain without heavy pressure. And so this is the work that we do inside of the Business by Belief Accelerator. You have to get disciplined in your delivery. Okay. And so inside of the Business by Belief Accelerator, I help you to transition into coaching full time without having to, worry about chasing clients or fighting the algorithm or self-sabotaging or sacrificing time with your family. Nobody wants that. You're not building a business so that you can be away from your family constantly. And so I want to invite you to apply for the Business by Belief Accelerator. The link will be in the description. But overall, this is how you, let me go back up to, where is my title? Here it is. This is how being the good girl is costing you sales, and this is how you fix it, okay? This is exactly how you fix it. Business sales require you to be bold, all right? Bold is an acronym. And so the B is being brave enough to be seen, right? Obedient to the call, not the crowd. Liberated from people pleasing, and disciplined in delivery. And this is all, I help you to do all of this inside of the Business by Belief Accelerator. I want you to apply today and start leading as the woman God anointed, not the good girl the world applauded. All right. You are the woman who God has called. He has anointed you. He's called you to coach and he's anointed you to do it. And so get rid of that good girl and start really taking action, aligned to action with who God has called you to be. No matter if the entire world is applauding you or not, God is in heaven looking over you and he's like, that's my daughter. She's doing exactly what I called her to do. And so I want to encourage you to apply with the link in the description. All right. And so that's what I have for you. I pray that this quick, well, it's not that quick. What is it? 20 minutes in. I hope that this live blesses you. Watch one of these videos here and I'll see you in the next episode of The Daily Dose. Bye.